Apparently there's a shooter at the White House. Look at this. That's a whole lot. Trump is still speaking? I mean, I guess so. Confirms a man was shot by law enforcement near the White House, causing the White House to be locked down. Triggered temporary lockdown of the White House, security area. TikTok trend at this point. I mean, again, the more that they allow this type of language to happen on the internet, the more you're going to have people willing to be crazy or to go out there or do something that's problematic. Shots fired again at the White House? What? Again? Wait, do you mean like you're not talking about like it happened again, right? Like this is like you mean like the second time today? Oh, it is another person. An armed man opened fire in vicinity of JD Vance's motorcade near the White House. The man opened fire on Secret Service. The USS returned fire, taking the shooter down. So it happened again. Oh my God. This was 5 minutes ago. This sounds kind of coordinated. I don't know, maybe. This is getting close to civil unrest about this. Someone's going to get killed actually in office. I think that's what's going to have to happen. Where somebody in politics and in political office is going to have to get shot before they do something about this. So there's been 2 shootings near the White House today.
Secret Service police to make contact with
Bad boy alert.
Vice President's motorcade did transit through this area. Upon making contact, that individual fled briefly on foot. Withdrew a firearm and fired in the direction of our agents and officers.
What happened to him?
Returned fire and engaged. That individual was hit. He's since been transported to the hospital. That at least one,
fuck him.
I believe only one bystander was hit by the suspect.
Was enjoying a vacation in Washington, D.C. We saw presidential motorcade drive by with 20 motorcycle officers.
Make sure you Mirandize this one, fucktard.
And then heard shots fired.
Apparently, mic was off. All right, let's do this again. Hey, welcome to the Associated Gas. I, as always, am your host, Alfie Animus. Even though I turned my mic on a second ago, I guess it got lightly brushed with air. It's got a sensor button more than a button. So like, you know how like you could brush by, what was it, the Xbox One, and it would just turn off or turn on or whatever. That's basically what we're dealing with here. So I guess a gust of wind covered in dust must have grazed it. Either that or I'm a retard and I didn't turn
This is the first one? Yeah. People seem to have gotten radicalized. There's only one way this can end. This is where things are going, and I talked about this in a video that I made about this. This is a natural consequence for this behavior, because the Republicans have controlled the government now for almost 2 years. There hasn't been a single serious effort made to curb online extremism. At this point, I feel like they want it to happen. Well, I think it's going to have to happen. And I'm not talking about like a podcaster or like a political activist. I don't think guys like JD Vance or, you know, like Trump see Charlie Kirk as like one of them. Like he's inside of a different realm, and what happened to him is unique to like his experience. I'm talking about an actual politician. And I saw this, Charlie Kirk said this: assassination culture is spreading on the left. It worked. And so 48% of liberals said it will be somewhat justified to murder Elon Musk. This is the real issue here. Why are we having more of these assassinations, and why are we having more of these security breaches? Because we're having more attempts. At this point, I think that if the Republicans end up getting assassinated, I'm not really going to feel that bad. And the reason why is because you've done nothing to stop this. You can't let this keep going. You can't let people continue to do this.
Well, I mean, what exactly are you supposed to do? I mean, it's being stoked by prominent figures. I mean, yeah, you can clamp down on a lot of the language online because there is a lot of hot language out there. There are people actively calling for violence. There are people who are celebrating murders as they occur. And a lot of these are the same people who, you know, when people were kind of happy that they finally got bin Laden, they were just like, oh, what are you doing? That's a human life. I mean, yeah, true. But at the same time, I mean, you got to be excited when you finally meet a goal. But I don't know, man. Like, I never celebrated, like, bin Laden's death. I was like, all right. Anyway, moving on. Just because, I mean, like I said, I'm an old school liberal. It feels weird celebrating someone's death, but at the same time, that person caused a lot of death and mayhem. So well, what do the Republicans say? FAFO. Anyway,
Eventually, something will have to give.
He initially filed a lawsuit.
But no, 100%. Like, and people keep saying that Trump has to tone down the rhetoric, and I believe that he should. But it shouldn't be to the point where just like, well, we'll tell people that they shouldn't murder you if you stop calling us dickheads and stop calling the media the enemy of the state. It's like, hey, we'll stop acting like the enemy of the state if you stop calling us the enemy of the state. That's not how it works. And again, I that goes across all boards. I don't like any of the media. The media should not have a bias. And op-ed, quote-unquote, journalism should not take the place of regular news on the ground as it is, journalism. Everything's opinion pieces. And most of their opinions are the exact fucking same. It's carbon copies of each other, and people love when people agree with them.
Under the pseudonym John Doe, accusing a senior colleague, Lorna Hajjdini, of
The pseudonym
repeated
John
sexual
Doe.
coercion.
She were his
It's
tracks. The
John
J.P.
Doe.
Morgan story. Okay, it's hilarious for a multitude of reasons. But this really is the story of H-1Bs and a broken system. I don't think that we are at the point where it can be reformed. I think we need to scrap it completely, the system that we have, and create an entirely new system in its place. Does that mean we get rid of? Yeah, that means we re-examine all H-1Bs. The default is gone, and you have to prove yourself. I think it's far too broken beyond repair. You let me know what you think.
And I agree, and I know what you said. Oh, Alfie agrees with Crowder on something. I don't agree with him on everything. Not even like maybe 80%. And that's just because he comes with the facts. You can't really argue with a fact. You might not like it, but and like I said, he uses left-wing sources for a strong majority, like probably 90% of his references are left-wing. So there's that. But something's got to be done with the left-wing, the left-wing, Jesus, the H-1B visa system. I don't know. It's like between all the jobs going to different countries and people from other countries coming here and taking a bunch of jobs, it's getting cumbersome. And especially now with the introduction of AI, there's going to be a lot of your choice is pay good money for an actual person who knows what they're doing, pay a lot less for someone who doesn't really speak English and may or may not know what they're doing, or spend a little bit of money on a highly advanced AI automated system. I only like one of those options, and this is someone who uses AI a lot. I don't want that. I don't want it to get to the point where it takes away jobs.
So
Even
this
though it
was
kind
the
of already
sexual
has, but-
harassment story that you probably heard. It was an Indian man. He was not identified initially, and he basically just revealed his personal fantasies. Let's hit the song first, Tool Man.
All right.
He was an Indian man who accused a very attractive white woman in a position of management of basically making him her brown boy sex slave. These were the words. And of course, here's the thing. When I first read this story, I go, okay, a white woman, she's pretty. An Indian man, I don't need to see anymore to know this is not true. I drew a conclusion immediately, but it didn't turn out as the Jeet expected.
He was a cheat, defaming a girl. Now it's so glaringly obvious. She wasn't his boss, was he H-1B? He lied about aggressive bombs and veggie. He was a scammer boy, now he will be unemployed. Cheats are the most brazen swindlers on earth.
Yeah, false sexual assault claims. Any job is a woman's job.
Yes, exactly right.
It can happen to you too.
Yeah.
So for those of you who missed it, there have been some updates, but here's a funny newscast about it. They have to treat it as though it's a serious story.
A former male employee of JP Morgan Chase has accused a female senior executive
Of
sexual
course they
abuse,
blurred his
claims
face.
that
Yeah,
the
'cause
bank
it's
says are
unbelievable.
completely without merit after an internal investigation. At the center of this case is a man identified by multiple media reports as Chirayu Rana, a 35-year-old former JP Morgan employee. He initially filed a lawsuit under the pseudonym John Doe, accusing a senior colleague, Lorna Hutchdini, of repeated
John
sexual
Doe.
coercion.
From Memphis.
The complaint highlights his identity as an Indian and a brown professional. alleging that
professional, what?
race was
Wait,
used
work for
during the alleged
UPS?
harassment and coercion.
Yep. So now we know who the guy is. Chaudhry. Chaudhry. Yeah, that's. I mean, that's just.
Okay, fine.
You thought it'd be Delsham.
He's not stretched.
So 35 years old, comes from a pretty wealthy family. They live in a $1.7 million home. By the way, the lawsuit has since been withdrawn. Since 2014,
I
he
would
has
hope.
had at least eight employers.
That's not
And
great.
0 girlfriends.
Yeah, and then there was a new report that he actually was looking at his previous job, asking AI how to draft up a sexual assault lawsuit against a company.
Yeah, just switched out names and stuff.
By the way,
Oh,
the
wow.
best, just hear it from Vivek, the best and brightest. We don't have enough smart Americans to do these jobs. These guys are the best.
And to all you would-be criminals out there, don't Google search the exact specifics on how to do your crime, like the day before you commit said crime. I mean, come on. At least don't do it on your shit. Like, what are we doing?
And I know this
bored.
guy's American. I get it, but
He looks like
indicative.
he looks like Indian Dick Dastardly.
yes, he does.
Pop a mustache and a hat on that guy.
So he originally, he alleged that this J.P. Morgan executive had called him, quote, her little brown boy, her little Arab boy toy. I was like, well, that's not something that a woman would say sexily.
Yeah.
Ever.
Ever. A white woman is not, like, there is no 50 Shades of Arab boy toy.
He doesn't even, he's not Arab though, right? He's Indian?
No, he just, and then he also, like, he overreached because none of this is believable. First off, that she would sexually assault him. But then I'm pretty up to speed on racial
Yeah.
epithets, to be clear. This one was new to me. He said that she made him her sex slave, and she would say things like, quote, remember this, I bet your little Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons, referring to her breasts. It's like, well, of course that did not happen. Of course this lady did not say your Asian fish head wife doesn't have these cannons.
If she did, she sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, she sounds.
Like I saw the picture and I saw the headline. I was like, this chick's pretty cool. dude.
Yeah.
No wonder she has that job.
Now, to be fair, as it relates to the quote,
And I mean, it may be that someone with that position may say that. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you'd. It'd be like finding out a buddy of yours was like a sleazebag, and said a bunch of kind of off the wall shit. I mean, you know, people's people's bedroom talk, or at least weird office affair talk. I don't know. I've never been involved in anything like that, but it pops up in like TV shows all the time, and I mean it sounds like bad fan fiction.
fish head wife, she may have had a point.
Is that lingerie?
It's lingerie in the mask.
It was pretty inventive. Hold on. I'll give them this. Like, it's not the best joke. Where'd it go? Come on. Like, look, it almost looks like the natural color. You know how some of them have, like, the stripes? Anyway.
Is that lingerie?
It's lingerie in the mask.
Gotta love those side titties.
Billy Bass has never seen it so good.
She also said that he also said that the lady drugged him with both roofies and boner pills.
Was that to cover his need to take boner pills? Like,
Well, it's just the idea because
He can't get hard.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I love my wife, my
Yeah.
fish head wife. I love her.
no.
Right. Yeah, I bet you there's a part of this where his wife found out he, not with this woman, was probably cheating on her. And he
Yeah.
was like, no, it's my boss. She drugged me with boner and I didn't even, it's a medication.
I didn't want it.
He called you a fish head. Roofies boner pills threatened his bonus, even though he didn't actually work under her. We now know.
Well, that sucks.
And this was what he wrote to the chat bot, right, to the AI chat bot. He actually searched this. And here's the thing. He was born here in the States, as I understand it.
Yeah.
Still can't write English.
No, that's our bad.
He wrote, I was raped, sexually assaulted.
Assaulted.
Both words are wrong.
Assaulted.
Harassed and forced to do drugs by my former boss at Morgan Stanley.
Drugs?
HR conducted an investigation, but they ultimately made me sign a separation agreement.
What?
Now, here's the thing. This is funny, and it's obviously untrue, and I'm glad that this woman, that her name seems to be cleared. The problem is you'll still have people who believe this. You'll
For
still
a
have people
long
out there who
time.
believe this for a long time, and that's a really crappy thing to have to live with. But how did this guy get this job? He can't write English, just basic English. He can't spell. He wasn't able to cover his tracks. He doesn't have a high enough IQ to make a story believable. Like, immediately, everyone knew it was fake. Nobody was horrified. We were all laughing.
Yeah.
And this is what we see. This is the problem with H-1Bs. And you guys let me know. You comment below and talk with some other people here, because the H-1B issue is a real problem in tech, and I think it's one that's overlooked. That's one where you can definitely say the Democrat Party, the Republican Party, they're basically one and the same.
Yeah.
No one is doing enough about this. And when you hear people in the Republican Party saying, well, we need them. We do not. They're better than Americans. They are not. This is a scam. A lot of the degrees are fraudulent. We've gone through that. There are basically giant placement firms. It's a racket where they take something off the top. People come here to this country, then they get all of their family over here. And the ethnic nepotism that takes place, if you get to the point where there's a certain percentage, we don't know the exact crossover, I'll give you some case studies, where their H-1Bs are Indian, they are the most racist people on the planet as it relates to hiring. It really is a problem. They will force out white Americans because you are a white American, to be clear.
Or black Americans, too.
Yeah, actually, they get it
yeah.
worse. Okay, you do it, Josh.
Yeah.
Available to you.
Yeah, I don't understand some of the commercials.
So American workers, just to be clear, 2 times as likely to lose their jobs compared to Indians. 3 times higher if you're a black or Hispanic American. If you look at one of the biggest vendors, Cognizant, here in Texas, from 2013 to 2020, 2/3 of their United States-based employees are from India.
Whoa.
So you're 3 times as likely to lose your job. And you've seen these memes kind of going around. Now, they're not coming from an actual study, but anecdotally, there are a lot of case studies. And it seems to be that if you reach the threshold of about 30%, that your company will be 70% Indian or H-1Bs in a very short period of time, or if you get Indian H-1Bs in a position of management. It's well known. Comment below, anyone who works in the industry. We
Same
all
thing
know.
about apartment complexes.
Yep. Oh yeah.
If you get if they're in management there, or if they're in the leasing department, immediately.
So Walt Disney, 250 IT workers were replaced by foreign Indian workers in 90 days. 90 days, just it accelerated. They were forced to train their replacements themselves. It's like digging your own professional grave, or you get no severance package. Let's look at Southern California Edison. 400 to 500 IT workers were replaced by foreign Indians in 8 months. Now, this does matter because the American employee salaries were about $110,000 a year.
Yeah.
The replacements, 65. The best and brightest is that it? Or is it that they're cheaper? And this is what happens. It's kind of like people who maybe hire someone to do landscaping. And they know that they're not legal, but they just go, yeah, driver's license, good enough for me, right? You've checked the box. If you run a company, you're running a giant company. This is really a...
Hold on.
It's a form...
Sorry, I gotta skip over to this. Erin Rose Phillips, the first black woman with quadriplegic cerebral palsy signed to a major modeling agency, arrived at the Met Gala. What the fuck are we doing? Oh my god. Okay. I mean, sure. Why not?
Form of corporate welfare, where they can go, okay, I know it would look bad if I hire someone with no qualifications, but the truth is, this job probably isn't that difficult to do. I just need to look like I've hired someone with a degree who's qualified. Oh, they got a degree from a university in India? Okay, good enough. They're the most qualified, and they just happen to be $40,000 to $50,000 less expensive.
Right.
They're happy to look the other way.
Yeah, the H-1B thing is not the best and brightest thing. If we need the best and brightest, there are other mechanisms to bring those people in. This is just a scam right now.
Yeah.
Completely shut it down.
Well, here's another one. Cloudera, last week the DOJ sued, and this is a multi-billion-dollar tech company, by the way, for discriminating against Americans. And here's something that was going on, or at least what's being alleged, that they built fake email addresses that bounced every single American applicant.
What?
And the jobs were already reserved for foreign visa workers. In other words, again, it's a front. It's like, hey, let's keep up the appearance that we looked for American workers, but there were none available. And what's the talking point you hear? Well, we don't have the talent pool in the United States. It's not true.
We do.
It's not accurate.
We really do.
It's that these people are cheaper. In many cases, they don't even have an actual college degree or training. JP Morgan, let's look at that. The HR department includes people like, I can't even pronounce it.
Let me try Karyam Sette.
Karim Sete Chrysoprasus. That sounds like the binomial nomenclature for a dinosaur.
Yeah, those are fossils.
Krishna Kishore is the associate recruiter. So the HR recruiter, Karyam Seti Chrysoprasaurus. I'm doing my best. That's the recruiter. Then the associate recruiter is Krishna. Then Anvesh Kumar is the talent acquisition consultant. Anushka Chakraborty is the HR specialist. Avantika Patak is the HR specialist. So what do you think happens when you bring these people in? If you don't believe me, do me a favor. Go on X and just find your way down the rabbit hole that is Indian X, Indian social media. The racial supremacy from these people is something that defies reason to you as an American. It is entirely, and by the way, they're awful to each other.
Yeah.
Because they still come from a caste system.
Yeah.
They hate.
Well, and that's the thing. I know Indian people in real life. Some of the most racist people I've ever met in my entire life. They don't like each other. Like, you know how people from different Asian countries don't like each other? Like the Chinese don't like the Japanese, the Koreans don't like either of them. That's how Indians are with each other. And everyone else. I do not understand. But yeah, probably not all of them. It can't be all of them, but every single one that I've met in real life and met their families, they hate everyone, especially black people and each other. But it's awful. Like, imagine the most racist white dude you know, or white woman you know, a Karen. They would make her blush. I'll just say that.
Darker Indians more than you would think between an American white person and black person, the discrimination. It is just assumed that you are subhuman. These people come here, they bring their culture here, they bring their same values here, usually a lack of any, in comparison to the United States.
Yeah.
And there's ethnic nepotism, and you are replaced for cheaper workers. And if you guys are wondering, have you guys felt this? Customer service, pretty much service quality across the board is awful. This is a very big component of it.
Yeah.
There's definitely a supremacy thing with these H-1Bs and these workers, because you even see it this weekend on SNL. Aziz Ansari played Kash Patel, basically making fun of Kash Patel, calling him a dumb. And the joke was Aziz Ansari at the podium saying, I'm making history. I'm a trailblazer, making history as the first Indian to suck at his job. Everyone knows Indians are great at everything and so smart and great workers.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it going like, who said that?
He did.
Oh.
They say it. Yeah, they say it all the time. Like, you Americans, India is the best, number one. I mean, you want to get someone who really gets on a racist pedestal, go to Toolman. He spent a lot of time. I don't mean racist, I mean justified.
Yeah. No, I don't like them at all. I want them gone. And, you're giving us the facts to support why we should get rid of them.
Let me ask you, guys think YouTube is better now? Do you guys have run into the AI slop, right? You ever try and find a review of something these days? It's a top 5 list.
Yeah.
Where AI is doing it in broken English, which you're like, how does that even happen? A lot of these A lot of these channels just come from these Indian bot
Well,
farms.
Instagram too. Like any Instagram video that's posted stamped with a white background and then the description is just a default description that AI wrote.
Yeah.
That's an Indian channel. I'll put money on it.
Yeah. Well, the silver lining here, even though this is really funny, I mean, your fish head wife doesn't have these cannons. I'm never going to forget that line.
You don't get
I
a bonus
probably
unless
won't
you
either.
screw my brains out, is what one of the other quotes
Yeah.
that she said, basically.
Yeah,
All right,
this
well.
guy did not want to go to court.
a
I
literal
guarantee
bonus.
you they would find verbatim where he quoted the pornography that he was spending most of his day on the job.
They didn't. They tried to do an investigation. He wouldn't give his cell phone. He wouldn't give his records.
No.
No.
Like, no, don't check it.
I have the right to
don't do it.
privacy. No, you're the one suing, making the allegation. So it should be really easy to find the fish head text.
It was
on
crazy.
your
dude.
phone
The things that he said. He even said one time that she was performing oral sex on him
against his will.
against his will while he was crying.
Yeah, I know. I know. That's right.
Pakistan.
She said, "Take it, you filthy packy." I said, "I am not packy." And remember, I was crying, but she was only because she had drugged me with the roofies and the boner pills.
I was gonna say. Like,
That's the only way this works. That's why I set it up like that.
But somehow I still remember it.
I do remember it. It's not repressed trauma yet.
The roofies were not strong.
I still
No,
remember
they were
her
not that
using a
strong.
racial epithet that no one else has ever heard in their life.
Her roofies were as powerful as my wife's cannons.
Yes, exactly.
Non-existent.
But here's the thing. Maybe there's a silver lining here where we can shine a light on these issues. It's hurting a lot of Americans. We can always do better than someone like Chioriu Rana. Always do better. This idea that companies need them, they don't. They want cheaper. This idea that Indian workers are better than they're consistently not. This idea that Americans can't compete, it's just not true. You're being sold out to the lowest bidder.
Yeah.
In this instance. And yeah, this is one where I will get on board with those who, whatever you want to call them, the black pill. Republicans are not doing enough on this. And the rhetoric that we heard,
They're not.
one of the worst offenders, by the way, Elon Musk, as you well know, he stands to gain from it. Vivek, pretty bad at that. Donald Trump definitely screwed up with this. He kind of walked it back because good thing is he...
and see, this is the thing. Hey, good morning, Yanuka. This is the thing. Republicans aren't afraid to shit on Elon Musk when he does bad thing. The whole H-1B visa thing, not the best. I mean, it should be dramatically. Jesus, I need more coffee. Dramatically reformed. Okay, so I was trying to say dramatically and drastically at the same time. Apparently, I didn't pick one and create two diverging universes. I chose to say them both at the same fucking time. Apparently, you're welcome, Space Police testicles from Rick and Morty. Anyway,
listens to his constituency. Republicans are not doing enough on this. Scrap H-1Bs, boom, done. Hey, it won't be any worse than what we have right now. Let's train up Americans. If you think they're not trained up, we have a deep talent pool right now. No more H-1Bs. Done. Not reform. Scrap it. That's where we are. Oh, you're still here? And you're still watching this on YouTube? You've probably noticed something.
and again, I don't agree with a full-on scrap, but it definitely should be restructured at the very least. But let's get into what Mr. Endemion's got to say today.
If there's anything constant like the sun rising in the morning and setting in the evening, it's that the concept of taxes annoy me to no end. I will always say yes to pizza, and gaming journalism is always going to be a source of disdain that will never not be annoying. You've heard it before, that gaming journalists flat out dislike the very audience they've been hired to serve, because all gamers are problematic, evil people. We're all just demons that need saving from ourselves, apparently. But remember that gamers don't have to be your audience, because gamers are over. That's a now infamous article from GameIndustry.biz that is now 12 years old as of this video being made. It was written by a games journalist named Lee Alexander. It's also an article that perfectly encapsulates where the game industry has gone.
And this is something that's bewildering to me, because if you're a game developer, someone who make games, who are you making things for? Like, what are you doing? Like, how can you hate your entire consumer base? I can understand looking down on them or whatever, but hating them, like these are the people who keep your lights on. Like everyone who's in the sales industry should take the Gabriel Iglesias. They should take the Gabriel Iglesias approach. Sorry. I got startled. Of, Dad, why do I have to do something with these people? You know that PlayStation 4 I just got you? That's how I got the money. Okay. Like, I think we demonized a lot of... Well, it depends. And they did another segment on jobs that a lot of people don't want to do that actually pay a lot more. I don't know. Like, a lot of people hate customer service. I really enjoy it. Like, you get to talk to people for 5 to 10 minutes at a time. You get to solve problems, and especially if you've worked for the company for a long time, you know exactly what to do. Like, it's all a matter of perspective. Like, for some people, customer service is the all-time end-all hell. But most of those people work for call centers for companies that they've never seen, never been a part of, really. And they don't really know anything about said product or whatever they're customer servicing on. So, like I said, it depends on the person, really. Anyway, continue. Whoop.
In since 2014, when this Lee Alexander wrote that piece. I'll get into that article in a second, but the reason that this video exists is because that same Lee Alexander, in case you don't know, they have a game that they actually wrote recently that actually came out. It's called Aphelion. You probably haven't heard of it, you likely will never play it, and when you get into the nitty-gritty of why a game like this exists in the first place, you then start to realize that at the core of this entire story, it all comes down to two very crucial things. One is forcing behaviors that these people want, and two is that it's state-funded propaganda. You see, Aphelion follows two lovers named Ariane and Thomas. They crash land on a planet called Persephone, and they are tasked with finding a new suitable home for humanity after climate change. Yeah, I'm not even kidding. Yes, climate change has ravaged the Earth's entire way of life in this story. Did I forget to mention this Aphelion game is funded by the ESA? Yeah, the European Space Agency helped fund Aphelion, which further details how this whole game...
Hold on. There's a European Space Agency? I only know of 3 space agencies. Whatever the Russians are doing these days, NASA, and... whatever Elon Musk's rocket company is called. When did Europe get a space agency? And what do they do besides fun, shitty games like this?
Came together in the first place. So Aphelion is made by Donut. They're the people behind games like Life is Strange and the weirdly, actually pretty good game called Vampire, which to this day, I have no idea why they haven't made a sequel to Vampire, because that was an actual good game that had a real audience. But instead of a sequel where you play a doctor turned vampire who wrestles with his moral conundrums, I guess you instead have Aphelion. Great. Like,
and I think I'm gonna stream. I'm gonna play. I think I'm gonna stream that game next, instead of Resident Evil. I need a little bit of a change up. And Vampire is a really good game, and I want to play it because the new game from the former Witcher devs looks to be like the spiritual successor to the game, which would be amazing. Israel also has a space agency. We almost landed on the moon. Really? That's kind of crazy. That's awesome. Does Hamas like shoot at the rockets? Is it there in Israel, or do y'all do it somewhere like safer, or do you do it here with us? These are legit questions. Like I'm legit curious. I didn't know other countries had space agencies.
game that, as you can see from the Steam charts here, peaked at just 219 players at launch and has since just trickled down since then. Apparently, Don't Nod has sold somewhere close to less than 2,000 copies of Aphelion on Steam alone, which is laughably bad considering that Don't Nod, well, they're not exactly a small studio. I wouldn't call them AAA, I guess, but they're not exactly an indie studio of like
They got ESA written on the background, like Europe's space agency will be the one to support life once the Earth gets flushed. Get fucked.
people working out of someone's basement either. So the numbers of Aphelion's player counts, they
And
are...
and speaking, hold on, real quick. Here's my prediction for Europe. Okay, Europe is going to make one of two things happen. Okay, the countries will slowly start to take back their individual countries, and they will have their Brexit moments. But these will be legit Brexits. And Europe will be broken into several countries, once again, who are allies, but are not like states. You know what I mean? Because it's weird when people in a union of states or what have you all speak different languages, save maybe two. But I don't think that'll be the one that happened. That's the optimistic side. The pessimistic side, the more reality-based side, is that they're going to keep flooding themselves with immigrants. They're going to keep refusing to arrest the ones that actually commit crimes. And Europe will fall, probably within like 10 years. You have to, look, it's okay to remember the sins of the past, okay? But you cannot live your whole life trying to make up to people who you didn't do anything to for something that you personally didn't do. It's like genetic self-hatred. But the fact that in a lot of these countries, they're not only not arresting some of these offenders of horrendous crimes, of rape, of murder, of all these different things, of assassinating several Jewish people and then being like, what's happening? Well, why's everyone attacking the Jews? You've literally imported their natural predators. I mean, what did you expect to happen? You're literally clearing people off the street in Europe, and in Britain, for looking a little too Jewish in an Islamic neighborhood. Like, I understand in your warped mind, you're looking out for them. But at the same time, let the person walk down the street, and if someone attacks them, I don't know, arrest them. Like, Europe's going to fall within 10 years if they don't shape this shit up.
Or, yeah.
Like, I really don't want to believe the 100-year plan theory. But it's the more and more I see, the more it's looking like it's not a theory.
But it's because the game is not only, not very good, but that it's written as both propaganda and by someone who genuinely hates the gaming audience that they are catering to, which never really made any sense to me at all. Why continue to cater to or exist within a space that you hate? This would be like me saying that I hate all my subscribers or something, which I don't. But if I did, then why would I even be doing YouTube? It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, you chose to exist within this space.
I feel like he's talking to Hassan Piker. He literally hates everyone.
Video games, yet you hate these people that you continue to cater to. Then why? Is it just to force the behaviors?
His audience.
Is that what this is all about, or is it just money? Maybe the truth is, somewhere in the middle. Because this just continues to happen. You play a game or you read a review, and before that was really it. Now these days it feels different. Not necessarily worse, I guess, in every case. Maybe not universally broken, but different enough that you do end up coming to the same question no matter which avenue you entered in from. You just start to wonder and ask, who is this actually for? So
like a Subnautica copycat? Kind of,
praised for its direction and themes. Others were critical of its pacing and mechanics.
Well, and I mean, you hear, did you hear about how this world was created or what happened? They said that global warming affected the Earth to where they had to leave, and then they went to a place called Persephone, a world they called Persephone. That's basically the plot of Firefly, except they didn't find their home on Persephone. But it feels like it's in the same universe, kind of, or at least they got the same. Like they pulled a couple of bits out of that particularly, because only in that it was a mixture of global warming or climate change caused by nuclear war, I think. But yeah, Avatar too. But the planet Persephone is literally, I want to say, the first planet they went to on their little mission trying to unload the goods they got in the first episode. No. Was it? It was either that or their main hub planet that they had.
Because you, well, climb a lot in this game and walk a lot. There's no combat, and the stealth works half the time, maybe at best. There are aliens in it, but they look very generic. They're like weird digital black snake things with red spiky bits for faces. The entire game is just basically beating you over the head, saying that climate change is bad. The game also stars two people, like I said before, Thomas and Ariane. Unsurprisingly, you play as Thomas for about 30% of the game. And the real main character is Ariane. Wow, who could have saw that one coming for like the 5th time? The game was also meant to come out apparently in December 2026, but then randomly upped its release date and then came out in April instead. Probably, I'm guessing, because Donut recently also secured a deal to make a game based on a major Netflix IP. Probably Stranger Things, who knows, so they probably just cut the development on Aphelion early and
Please don't let it be One Piece.
and then just shipped it out and left it to die. But when you look deeper into this whole thing of how games like this get made,
Because I
who
love
ends up
One Piece
writing
and I don't
them,
want
like,
it to
you
be
do start
attached to
see a
these
pattern
people.
forming. That the influence of what gets said by places and how it gets said not only allows for access with early copies and whatnot, but that the narrative surrounding a game
Isn't this the same lady who was in the Star Wars game? I can't remember what it was called. Fallen something.
like Aphelion,
Fallen Order.
it just feels fake. Look at butwhythough.com. Yes, that's actually the name of that website. I'm not kidding, but this is their review of Aphelion. They call the game one of the best science fiction stories in any medium, which is a crazy amount of praise.
That's
This review literally believes that this
probably
game
highly
is somehow
inaccurate.
better or rivals Mass Effect, Star Wars, or even Star Trek. The entire review, however,
I mean,
it
maybe
reads
modern
more like
Trek.
an ad placement that was paid by the ESA and Donut than an actual authenticated review that was written by like real human hands. Like here, for example, where they say Aphelion is cinematic and that its traversal mechanics have depth, but they don't. It's just simple Uncharted climbing where you have to hit X a few times. You've seen this 100 times before, so why are
Or
you lying
over.
like this? The review then says, as you can see, that Aphelion is apparently so good that this reviewer wants the game to be turned into a feature film. Again, this just reads like ad placement and not authentic at all. Ultimately, they end up giving, as you can see there, and no, I'm not kidding, a 9.5 out of 10 to Aphelion. A game that this reviewer admits is short, is a walking simulator, features zero combat, and both characters play practically the same. And they also confirm, as you can see there in their own review, that the game is one of the best science fiction stories in any medium, which is again just crazy because not much of anything interesting happens at all in this game. The aliens are called Nemesis, even their name is generic, and there's nothing here that you really haven't seen before. The main character Ariane has also gotten a lot of flack online because her character design is like the most bland ESG corporate slop character that I've seen in a while in a video game. Just a sickly, skinny woman with a shaved head. This is made by a Western studio, alright, you can bet on that one. And circling this back to Lee Alexander, the writer of this game, they hate their own audience. As it says in that infamous article here, game culture, as we know it, is kind of embarrassing. It's not even culture. It's buying things, spackling over memes and in-jokes repeatedly, and it's getting mad on the internet. How are you someone we should take seriously when it comes to writing video game stories or speaking on them, when you believe the entire concept of a gamer as a person is condensed down to just buying things, as this Lee Alexander says? So it's not a culture, really. Remind me how many different cons exist out there, people cosplaying, people streaming, the fandoms surrounding certain games like a Mass Effect, a Marvel Rivals, a Baldur's Gate, and more even, and none of this, in Lee's opinion, is culture. It's just buying things, apparently. Again, this is the person who wrote this Aphelion game. As a reminder, this is done by Donut, a developer already that has been on the brink of bankruptcy a few times, because their games, like the Life is Strange ones and more, aren't doing as well as they would hope that they would. The crazy part is the more you read into Lee Alexander's now infamous article, you start to realize the gaming industry has really never changed. Not in 2014, and definitely not even now. These people still think this way about the very demographics that they are meant to service. Here's how the article starts. I often say I'm a video game culture writer, but lately I don't know exactly what that means. Game culture as we know it is kind of embarrassing. And then they say what I've already said. It's young men queuing with plush mushroom hats and backpacks and jutting promo poster rolls. Queuing passionately for hours at events around the world to see the things that marketers want them to see. To find out whether they should buy things or not, they don't know how to dress or behave. Television cameras pan across these listless queues and often catch the expressions of people who don't quite know why they themselves are standing there. Wow, great way of just personifying the people that you're meant to be speaking to, Lee. Calling them consumer pigs.
Hold on. Hey, bro, I enjoy your stream. I had a suggestion I want to share with you, but I don't want to spam your chat. Oh, by all means, feel free to spam me. Yeah, I don't want to take the time of turning off all the notifications on my Discord because I'm old and lazy. But feel free to spam my chat because other than that, it's just me and Yanuka having a conversation right now, which is fantastic. But, you know, it would help my engagement, so...
and NPCs. That's a really good way for you to, you know, get their trust, I guess. But again, writer of failed game Aphelion, by the way. Lee Alexander then says this next. Games culture is a petri dish of people who know so little about how human social interaction and professional life works that they can concoct online wars about social justice or game journalism ethics straight-faced and cause genuine human consequences. Because of video games lately, I often find myself wondering what I'm even doing here, and I know I'm not alone. All of us should be better than this. You'd think this was written today, but nope, this is a 12-year-old article. This is how games journalists always think for the most part. Even now, they hate us. They hate having to speak or consider themselves as even being a part of a similar community that involves any one of us. And these people think that they're better than you. Why is that? I guess it might be access, because it's, you know, how they get to write an article on a website, maybe that runs ads that differs from like us. Somehow they believe in their own infinite stupidity. This means that they're just simply better than you in every way. And that we are just nothing to these people, which makes the existence of Aphelion like even more perplexing. Because why then 12 years removed are you writing a game, Lee Alexander? It can't be because you're passionate about it, because you hate your audience anyways. You admitted it. So the only reason Aphelion exists is because the ESA threw you guys a check. Maybe your politics aligned, and thus your game starring a malnourished, bald-headed woman came into existing, peaking at 219 players on Steam. Lee Alexander then says this. This is what the rest of the world knows about your industry. This and headlines about billion-dollar war simulators, or those junkies with the touchscreen candies, that's it. You should absolutely be better than this. You don't want to be divisive. Who's being divided? Except for people who are okay with an infantilized cultural desert of bad behavior, and people who aren't. What is there to debate?
This is literally the same fucking argument that Christian conservatives put towards video games like 15, 20, 25 years ago. What are we doing? This is why you see a lot of conservatives and lefties saying that there's horseshoe theory. That they all come back around to the same bullshit. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of these people, a lot of these so-called activists, these ideas are not their own. They're just the same retards that were trying to suppress speech and suppress thought and ideas 20, 25 years ago. But back then they were doing it in the guise of religion, and now they're doing it under the guise of the new religion, okay? Politics. That's literally all it is. It's all about control and power, okay? Because when I was a kid, the mantra of liberals was, if you don't like it, change the channel, because, you know, channels on TV. If you see something you don't like, then watch something fucking else. Okay? Now, they're doing the same shit that the Christian conservatives were doing back then, but we didn't have X. We didn't have social media to put it out then. They had to write freaking letters. And I kind of miss that because a lot of these fucking dipshits these days, they got like carpal tunnels or whatever, and they can't write, and they don't know what letters look like outside of what's on their little thing here. So they can't read cursive or anything. So it would take them fucking forever to do it. I think we should go back to this. No, I'm not going to go that far. As much as I enjoy social media, I would just love it to end at the same time. Let's drop an EMP on the thing that makes it so. But no, this is the exact same. This is why I don't take any of this too seriously. At least, like I said, the same people that were calling me, the F slur for the gays, 25 years ago, are the same people calling me whatever phobe these days. It's the exact same people and their kids, because people grow older and then they have all the kids. It's absolutely insane. And to see how many people just kind of get swept up by the mainstream when this kind of shit happens. Like, you see it all the time. Like, I've sat there and just watched the mainstream absorb and make fucking awful everything that I love. Like, they did it with, punk. They did it with, they did it with rap. They did it with comic books. They did it with superheroes. They did it with the whole bit. Like, your bands. Like, I always hated. I had friends who were just like, oh, I've listened to them since before they were big, all the time. And that's what someone says who's latching on to a band as they go mainstream, hoping that they'll just, whoa. And that's the kind of people who are, who just become a bunch of the same exact mainstream sheepish fucks that they've always claimed that they hated, but were really just jealous that they couldn't be. And that's what most of this is. And I absolutely refuse. I could easily jump on board the mainstream and just say all the things that everyone else is saying. I could shit on whoever just because it's popular to shit on them. I could praise whoever just because it's popular to praise them. And I would probably see a lot of success when it comes to such things. But I'm not an ass kisser. Okay, I'm not a clout chaser. I cannot do that shit. I will always, and this is probably while I'll always be like a fucking street rat, basically. This is why I'll always be just seen as kind of a piece of shit, is because I show respect. Okay, like, if you're in a position of power, if you're my boss, or whatever, I will respect the position. But I don't respect you necessarily. That shit you have to earn. The position's there. But the real respect, the respect for you and yourself, the kind of, like, you call me on a Saturday and say this and this and this, can you help me? And I got you, kind of shit. But I've never been an ass kisser. I've never been like, oh, that's fantastic, sir. I'll get right there. I'll absolutely do that for you. I'll even make it shine. That fake shit, It's just, that kind of people just, and I'm sorry if this is crass, but it just makes my balls itch, man. Like, I don't understand what. Anyway, sorry, continuing.
Right, let's say it's a vocal minority that's not representative of most people. Most people, from indies to industry leaders, are mortified, furious, disheartened at the direction the industry conversation has taken in the past few weeks. It's not like there are reputable outlets publishing rational articles in favor of the troll's side.
I wish like hell I knew how to clip, or had someone who could clip, because I would just post that by itself on a short or something.
Is clearly alluding to Gamergate, specifically the first iteration of it, which was funnily enough started due to the ethics of games journalism proving that there is favoritism in blatant political sightings. And remember, this article was made even before the orange guy got elected too. So the beauty of this article, and why I wanted to cover it today alongside a few
the first
because
time,
Lee Alexander perfectly encapsulates how the absolute hatred that games journalists have towards their viewer base is directly responsible for their own downfall and and their loss of credibility within the very space that they're operating within. Let me read you this part. Don't give press to the harassers. Don't blame an entire industry for a few bad apples, yet disclaiming liability is clearly no help. Game websites with huge community hubs whose fans are often associated with blunt Twitter hate mobs sort of shrug. They say things like, we delete the really bad stuff, what else can we do? And those people don't represent our community, but actually those people do represent your community. That's what your community is known for, whether you like it or not. When you decline to create or to curate a culture in your spaces, you're responsible for what spawns in the vacuum. That's what's been happening to games. Beautifully put, Lee. Actually, like, kudos to you. You are absolutely right that the inability to curate a culture in spaces is actually directly responsible for what spawns in that vacuum, as you said, but it actually goes both ways. Because for too long, the game's journalists existed and spoke openly and hateful towards their viewer base. This article reflects and confirms that 100%. You don't view gamers as people. You see them almost as subhuman even. You don't view the people you cater to as even being your equal. Instead, you believe that you exist in a plane of existence above those around you somehow. As if these games journalists actually think they're like fourth or fifth dimensional beings that exist above our pathetic third dimensional existence that we all operate within.
They really do seem to be. And it's just because, especially since the invention of Twitter, and you can actually talk to and engage with pretty much anybody these days, it's pretty insane. I will say it does tickle me a bit when I get a response or someone who I know, whether or not they're famous or just like a creator on here or something, responds to me. It's fun.
As if because a publisher sends them a free game code or they get a swag bag with some DLC codes at some event, it somehow makes them better and more legitimate than you or me. Like, look, I get free codes too. I have a YouTube following, but I don't consider myself above anybody because I'm not. I'm just a guy. All I want to do is drink coffee, walk my dogs, play video games, and sleep. I never have, nor I will believe just because of my channel here on YouTube that I'm somehow above anyone else, because it's not true. Anyone who thinks they're better than someone else because of something stupid like that should not be taken seriously ever. But Lee is right. You are responsible for what is created in that vacuum and the very footsteps that would inevitably lead to gaming journalism losing its relevance, its prestige, and worth is directly correlating with how people like this Lee and others operate or even believe. It's because of your own hubris, Lee. Like your ugly characters in Aphelion who are running away from Earth due to climate change. You continue.
Anyway, so you basically get the point on that, and that's one of the reasons that I don't cover like anything that Tim Puller and Demion do that often, is just because, I mean, it's a lot like just covering myself. They're as long-winded as I am, and sometimes they say the same thing 2 or 3 times in a row. But anyway, we're gonna go over here to Twitter trash, and we're gonna check out socialism on full display. AOC when she wore the tax the rich dress at the Met Gala, which has $30,000 tickets, while masked workers flock to serve her. What is happening? Anyway, why isn't this? Hold on. Let's try. Meh. You are the 1%, dick nuts. Like, this is why this self, like, you can be at a $30,000 a ticket event. You can wear however many $100,000 million outfit, and then you're spending all this money to call out people who spend money on stupid shit. Like, this is what I don't understand. Sarah Paulson wears dollar bill over her eyes to call out the 1%. The actress, who is worth an estimated $12 million, used her outfit to call out the entire world's elite while attending a $100,000 per person event. What are we even talking about? If you can't see, I'm having a stroke. Like, this is absolutely insane. MTV calls Hunter Schafer the prettiest girl in the world. Okay. It's just we're gonna let me say it. So, meh. You know. Anyway, in my own words. And see, this is the funny thing, okay? Like, okay, it's not funny that people drew backwards swastikas on doors. It's the fact that they don't know how to draw a swastika. Like, these are activists who claim to be anti-Nazi or anti-hate or whatever, drawing swastikas. And this one kind of makes sense to draw a backwards one because it's on a window, and on the other side, it would just be a regular swastika. But why do this? You're trying to, like, this is one of two reasons. Either one, all the covert Jew hatred that has been kind of just simmering under the surface is pushing up on the left and the right, both. Or this is someone faking a hate crime, like poop swastika from, I can't remember what university, like 10 years ago. Okay, and they were drawing backwards swastikas then too, because they're dipshits and they don't know what they actually look like. They just know that it's two zigzags crossing each other, but they can't remember which way they go. So they did it the wrong way, and it's. I will never understand why people do shit like this. Like, this is horrible. Why would anyone do this to anybody? Or just randomly writing Hitler on a wall. That's horrible. Oh, this isn't even my final form. Are you working now? There we go. This is what I'm saying. All these people are here. $30,000 for a ticket. Tax the rich. You are the rich. Like, anyone who goes into Congress and is worth however much more, like if you write a book or whatever, you know, that's one thing. But getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars or $1 million to give a speech, it's kind of disgusting. You serve the people. Most of these people really serve themselves. Socialism is so good, they had to make a wall so people wouldn't escape from it. Yeah. Exactly. Like, this stuff is disgusting. Yeah, the Actors Union would be a perfect place to try socialism. An actor earning $20 million could redistribute their wealth to give hundreds of struggling actors a living fucking wage. But they won't do it. Because they've struggled their whole lives. Some of them did come up from nothing, but most of them are nepotism. Are results of nepotism. And the only reason they became actors and millionaires in the first place was so they could look down on you and spit on you. Hold on, is this even... Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm still not even in... Shh, it's okay. Yeah. Waltz claimed that Musk gave a Nazi salute. Now he's campaigning with a guy who literally had an SS tattoo for about 20 years. Until it was noticed, and then he got it covered up by something kind of weird looking, to be honest. Then we go to Seattle.
Been in the news for its failure. This is legislation that will expand CCTV cameras, that could potentially be taken control of by the Trump administration. And this is legislation that was opposed by immigrants' rights groups, by civil liberties groups, and by the member of color caucus in the legislature. And I'll quote from their letter. This technology, and technology similar to it, has recently been in the news for its failure to be meaningfully and consistently secured, leading to breaches that could result in sensitive data being shared by ICE and putting our immigrant and refugee communities at risk.
And this is what they do, okay? It used to be body cams and CCTV are a must because... Oh, wait. Sorry, my conspiracy brain just kicked into high gear. So it used to be that body cams and CCTV cams were a must because we had to know what police were doing and we had to keep an eye on the police. So that's what they used to promote the surveillance state. But now the exact same people are saying that you can't use CCTV cameras or body cams because it's making police look innocent. You can't make this shit up. But then again, like I said, my conspiracy theory brain is just like, I think it's because they wanted a surveillance state, but then they realized you can see us too. And you don't have the kind of control that you do in the movies because retards wrote the movies. Rumor, Disney to remove Star Wars sequel trilogy from timeline to resume focus on original characters. If true, this would be one of the most dramatic franchise shifts in modern history, to which Caleb Hammer said, how many movies has Star Wars announced and killed in the past decade? The one that they let get through was The Mandalorian and Grogu, which, by the way, was after people stopped giving a shit about the show. About 5 years past. And then finally... Hold on. Alright, so this loser didn't have his dog on a leash, walking around a very busy city.
Stay right fucking here! Go!
You know, this could have been avoided if you would just put a leash on your fucking dog, who's too big of a retard to not run across a busy street.
Call the cops right now! Bro, no, fuck that, bro. Fuck that. It's okay, girl. Bro, park, motherfucker, park.
She's alive. She's looking at me. She's following my eye.
No, bro.
So again, retard lets his dog run in the street because he doesn't have a leash. He gets mad at the guy who didn't see the dog and accidentally hit the dog. You can't make this shit up. And you can see that the guy who accidentally hit him is genuinely concerned. This is the world we live in.
Yo, hold this motherfucker to the side, bro. I'm not trying to hit nothing. Go to the side, bro.
I'll run his stupid ass over too. It's a whole posse of retards on e-bikes trying to hold a car there because he accidentally hit a dog that ran across the street because this freaking Jersey boy over here couldn't be bothered to put his dog on a leash.
Bro, just stay to the side, bro.
That's where he's going. He's moving over to the side.
No, it's a skateboard right there.
Okay.
It's a skateboard right there.
Well, get it out of the road, dip nuts.
No, back up a little bit. Back up, back up. Back up, back up.
No,
Oh my God. Bro, he jumped out of nowhere, bro.
I got a recorder here.
Huh?
I know,
I swear.
I'm recording everything.
It's okay, girl.
Take a picture of the picture.
No.
Guys, I swear to God, he jumped out of nowhere, bro.
But if you hear people screaming, why
I
didn't
didn't
you
hear
stop?
nothing,
Bro, I don't care about none of that, bro.
Please just let me go to SPS. Let me go, please.
All right, retard kid, adult retard, poor citizen in retardville.
Nah, bro, you gotta stay right here, dog.
He's not going nowhere.
You have to stay right here. You just hit an animal. This animal, bro, this animal belongs to somebody. Regardless of the fact you hit him with the fucking car. It doesn't matter, bro. It doesn't fucking matter. Grab the fucking door. Grab the door. Stay right here till the cops come. Stay right here till the cops come, please, bro.
Yo, take a picture of the lady, please, bro.
Yo, give me your phone, King. Give me your phone. Give me record
Guys,
all that.
please.
Get my number.
Can I call the SPS, please?
Get my number.
What?
Because I got to record
Okay, but I'm saying,
everything.
can I please call the SPS here, please?
Oh, I'm...
The only two rational people here is the poor guy that accidentally ran into him and the guy recording.
Move, 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 move. Yo, give me your phone. Give me your phone, bro.
Come here.
Hold on, please. Can I just call the SPS, please? My heart is like broken. Is he okay? Hold on. SPS.
Yeah, don't cross the road. You'll get hit
Oh,
or
Fred, is there a
punched by
vet
the
around here?
I don't know. I'm not from around here.
Whose dog is it? Do you know?
I don't know who this is. How you was riding around?
My man. I don't.
Let me just pull cops. Let's pull cops. We can't move the door. We can't move it. We can't move it. The vet gotta come here. Somebody call the cops. Gigi with Daddy, what happened?
That's not how that works. You pick the dog up and you put it in. Oh my God. That was less entertaining. I was hoping somebody would start swinging. And look, guys, this right here, while sure kind of funny, stop saying gender pay gap when it comes to this. These right here, okay. One, that's a dude in the middle, I'm pretty sure. But two, let's learn the difference, okay? Actual police, Secret Service right here. These are the retards in this picture. Okay, let it play a little bit. Guy comes through. This right here, TSA agents. Why they're using TSA agents for an event like this, I don't know. But these are TSA agents, okay? These are not people. These are not Secret Service agents. Stop saying gender pay gap. You're making you and your whole argument look stupid. Irresponsible dog owner. If the dog run to the road, it's not the driver. No, exactly. It's not the driver's fault on that one. But yeah, these guys, they're just TSA agents, okay? They're not equipped for this kind of thing. Meanwhile, the one dipshit who took 3 shots at the guy and somehow didn't hit the guy or any of his friends, that guy's a retard. I don't know what Rachel Zegler's doing in this. She was like, what's with the faces that she's making? This is why you can't take like Hollywood people seriously. They think they're the hottest shit in the world. And again, MTV, stop lying. Come on. And I will say, look, I think that this dork, Jake Lang, should have gotten arrested for this or whatever. It is art. It's in horribly bad taste or whatever. And it would have melted eventually. So this is kind of a stupid arrest, I guess. But at the same time, like, Jake Lang is a retard. He's a right-wing retard. But at the same time, the Krasensteins are just grifters anyway. So the fact that they're like applauding this when they scream when anyone gets arrested for obstructing ICE in the first place is baffling to me. But anyway, guys, it's now been 3 years since the Ray Skywalker movie was announced. And before that, it was about another year or two on top of that when the Ray trilogy was announced. So, anyway, guys, that's all I got for today. We're going to wrap it up there. Today, kind of not really a slow news day, but why is that? That's it kind of day. I had a lot of fun, especially with a couple of my rants in the middle there. I need to get them clipped. I need to tag this episode specifically and clip those little rants and put them on X or YouTube or whatever. But I appreciate you guys. I'll probably put them on Rumble just so I can get some kind of anything there. But I appreciate you guys for stopping by. Thanks to Yanuka for being here pretty much every day. I appreciate you, man. Thanks to whoever, Jewall or whoever it was, Mr. Spammer guy. I appreciate you too. Even though you're just trying to sell something, I appreciate the grind, but it is what it is. But anyway, you guys